Hi, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Struggling Day Trader channel. I am your host, resident day trader, and your brother in the struggle. The name is Hassan, and I'm here to go over my trades. Before we get going, please hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe. I stream every market open starting around 9:20 or so, and it's been a really good time, man. We get in there, we hang out, we talk strategies, we talk charts, we talk life. Love to see you there. So hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. Okay. 3 trades today, which really should be 1 trade. But so HSI, what I do whenever I pull up a chart, I flip to the 1 minute and I draw a line at the top of the opening range candle, which is usually the highest volume candle of the day. And a part of the base of my strategy relies on the stock trading over this opening range and retesting. Okay, so I flip to the 1 and I do that. But for some reason, I did not flip back to the 2. I only take entries on the 2 minute. And so I think what happened was I pulled it up and then I looked away, and then when I came back to it, I was still on the 1 and I didn't realize that, because usually by default it's on the 2. And so I saw it trade over the opening range, over this blue line, and then come back, pull back. It's not a great pullback, but considering all the times it pulled down and got bought back up, I thought this would be sufficient as a pullback. On the 2 minute, this price action is a lot more meaningful than on the 1 minute chart. So thinking this was the 2 minute, I'm looking at it trade above the opening range, come back and test with this long wick down to VWAP through HVS, and then back up over and close both over those. And it's right at the whole dollar level of 195. So I thought this was a great entry. I bought in, triggered in, and it immediately went south. And I'm like, dang, that was quick. And then I'll go back to it and realize I'm trading on the 1 minute chart. On the 2 minute chart, I don't feel like I would have gotten in here because it hasn't really traded above the opening range. And there's not really a pullback. So I feel like I would have waited for this candle to see what this candle would do. I usually want to see at least 2 red candles, like an actual pullback into support. So, yeah, I'd like to say that I would not have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, so I would have been waiting. I would have been waiting for this to close, which I need to put my timer back up. I didn't have my timer this morning. I'm supposed to wait for the 10-minute timer to close, so that would have saved me from this. And then I would have been waiting to see what this candle does, and there was just no pullback before this. So this was just a mess up. This is just like a straight mistake to get in on this trade. So, but it happens. Just gotta pay attention, man. Gotta pay attention. Accidentally entered on the 1 minute. Oops. Minus a little more than 1 R on that, so that really sucked. THC. All right, so price action on THC honestly isn't that great either, but it technically checks the boxes. This is actually what we want to set up to look like. Clean move up, like well over the support, right? Not just poking its head up, but well over the support, and then a nice pullback, and then here we have a narrow range candle. This is a great, enter here, stop below VWAP and HVS. This is perfect, right? So we kind of have this, right? Like this is the opening range, this blue line here, and it does trade completely over and close completely over it. And then we have a pullback, but it's just not pretty. It's not a very clear pullback, but I thought it was good enough to try. I was actually a little late. I wanted to get in here but I was kind of late to the show. And then not only was I late, but I way oversized into this position. I was calculating. I wanted to put my stop loss under this candle, and somehow I saw a dollar. Come on. Anyway, I went in double my shares, so my stop had to be right. Basically, was right under this red candle. So I was very close to getting stopped out before this thing decided to move up. Which would have been just another mistake on my part, and that'd have been two mistakes on the day, like just being reckless, not paying attention. But alhamdulillah, it worked out, and I was able to stay in the trade. And once it started getting up here, man, it started going really well. I was up about 3R up here, and I didn't really have a solid plan on what I wanted to do, so I just sold half of it and banked like $30. And then I got a little antsy. When I got in, I wanted $110. I got in at $107.15, and I wanted $110. But I'm not gonna lie, my folks in the chat were really pressing me to take profit, and I'm not mad at them at all, because honestly, I'm supposed to take profit at 3R. I got to take some off at 3R. Because you never know what's going to happen. The market rolls over. Anything can happen. So I really don't like to look 3R in the face without taking at least 2R out of it. But I ended up selling half, so I didn't quite take 2R out. I took, like 1.5R out. And then I got aggressive with my stop. Mostly because I didn't have 2R and I wanted 2R. If I would have taken 2R out here, I think I could have been a little more patient with where I put my stop loss at. But so I took like 2.5R here, and then I moved my stop up aggressively and got out another 20 shares. So did I sell 15? I think I sold 25 here, and then I sold another 20 here. So then I have 5 shares left over, and it actually, sorry about that. If I could have been a little more patient with this, I could have sold up here, but I probably would not have sold because it only went up to 109.80, and I really wanted 110. When it was here, I was very confident that it was going to go to 110. But typically, when you want to hold for a big move like that, you have to sit through a pullback, and my patience wasn't there for that. So anyway, I banked a little over 2R, so I was sitting at about $58 after I sold here, and I had my 5 shares sitting down here break even. Came down to here, and then we finally broke 110 or tested 110 here. No, we got through 110. We got to 110.27, and then I was feeling silly for not taking out what I wanted originally, which was 110. At this point, I'm trading my P&L. I'm like, okay, I got these 5 shares left over. What's the point in selling at 110 when I'm only going to get like $12 out of it, right? So I'm like, I'm doing math on my calculator trying to figure out what I need to do to get to another R, which was 110.55 or 65, 110.65. And I just couldn't be patient. I mean, it was late in the day. I'm usually done trading at 11 o'clock. I finally moved my stop up tight at 12:42. So it was very late in the day. But man, don't you know, it went down one more candle after I stopped out, and it went up and made new highs and went through 111.29. So I could have had my last R if I wanted. But, such is life. Still a great trade. I just could have managed it a lot better. My management today was just off. I was just making mistakes today. I made mistakes with my position size. I didn't really manage out the trade that great, but I was still able to get almost 3R. So can't be too mad at myself, right? On $25 risk, getting up to 69.40. It's not bad. Share sized improperly. Needed better take profit. It is kind of a confirmation though that I wanted 110 and they gave me 110, and I actually recalculated what I thought it would go to based on this move up from here to here and this move up from here to here. I felt like it could definitely go up through 111, but I just didn't anticipate the pullback being this deep, which I feel like I probably could have. If I looked at the low here being 108.18 and the high being 110.27, that's $2, 110.25. So you would expect at least to come down $1, right? 50% retracement on a good retracement. Where did it come back? 109.31. Almost exactly $1. You know? So there are ways to predict these moves. You just have to be you have to be able to think of them at the time. You know, it didn't really click until near the end of the move, where how high it could go based on how high each move up was before the current move. But I didn't think about how deep the pullback should be before it makes that move. You know, I think if I would consider that, that's kind of where Fibonacci comes in, man. Those Fibonacci retracements, those are legit, you know. Those are legit. I believe they're legit. I've seen them work out very well. They're not perfect, but when you need to kind of, not guess, but kind of estimate a move up or a pullback, those are good general rules to follow. You know, the 50% retracement is a good rule to follow. So if I was looking somewhere to put my stop, I should have wanted to put it at least past the 50% mark before feeling like the trade was over or the pullback was sufficient. But I got a little hasty and moved my stop up to here. This would have been a nice spot right here to move it. But, you know, hindsight is always 20/20. Either way, I'm happy to get almost 3R out of that trade off 25 risk. What is that exactly? 69 divided by 25. 2.7R. 2.76R. Can't be mad at that. Right. So it should have been enough to make it a 2R day. But I lost a bit in slippage on HSI, which shouldn't even have been a trade. And then SMCI, I was bored and I wanted to try something that I thought looked like it had potential to pop. And I drew these trend lines after the fact, but I think they would have been helpful. And just really seeing the big picture, what was happening. Clearly we're downtrending, right? But we're also making higher lows. So something was going to happen. And I just felt like it had a good chance of going up. This volume that came in after it traded down here. I guess maybe it closing below VWAP and HVS could have been a sign that it was going to break lower after that. But I only risked $10 on it. Ended up slipping down to $13. So it was just kind of a trade to see what would happen. But I could have just saw what happened without being in it. And I would like to do that next time. I don't want to decrease the value of every dollar that's lost on, like, any trade outside of the plan is bad, even if the risk is small. Like, you don't need to risk money on unsure things. It's basically gambling. It's basically gambling. If I wanted to see what happened, like yesterday, I took 2 great mental trades on Tesla and On, and they worked out great. Felt good being right, and it was cool. You know, it was a good experiment, and that could have been this trade. I could have said, okay, if I wanted to take this trade, I would get in here and I would put my stop there. Let's see what happens. And then it wouldn't have worked. And I said, okay, well, look, we're making lower highs. It makes sense that kept going down. Boom. Would not have lost $13 there. Would have been a lot closer to 2R on the day. It would have been a better day. So I although I feel like I've made huge leaps in my discipline. Like, really, I have one solid intentional trade, and then this was a mistake, and this was just like playing around. Like, I really wasn't serious. I didn't risk a whole R. I was just being retarded. My guy Ben tried to talk me out of it. He talked me down twice, and then I still went and jumped in it. So, that was just being silly, sitting around at the computer too long. But man, on a normal day, there's no way that I would have sat there and not made a bunch of trades. After yesterday not trading at all, and today just being patient and catching this one good ride on THC, and being content with that, and not feeling the need to jump in anything else because nothing was setting up. I feel like I'm making some serious progress, and I'm looking forward to continuing and proving to myself that I have in fact grown a bit and maybe ascended to the next level. And the stats will show, though. I've been tracking everything in TradeZilla, so I'm keeping a close eye on my accuracy, which is about like under 30% right now, which is a travesty. But my profit ratio is just over 2 to 1, and my system is good. So I just been working on discipline, really. I've just really been working on discipline, trying to be a more disciplined trader and stay out of the setups that are not tested and tried and true, So all in all, good day. All in all, a good day. Just got to remember to zoom out and look at what's really happening big picture. Maybe glance at the higher time frames. But I really am excited. I feel like I'm really getting somewhere. Man, it's been a lot of fun trading with you guys on the live stream. Appreciate every one of you guys. Ben, Richard, Signature Trading, Jack, Brad, all you guys that stop in. I didn't see Ellingford today, but man, all you guys that stop in, I appreciate all you guys. Already excited about tomorrow as usual. And yeah, man, that's it, man. I ain't gonna make it too long. I've been trying to keep them around 15 minutes, but anyway, thanks for checking the video out. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.